When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will try.
Hello, everyone out there in Green Room Land. How you doing? This is your host, Ray Renate, formerly called Ray Renati, now Ray Renate. That's right. Ray Renate. Hey, you might as well use your special effects on your soundboard when you can. That's what I always say. Today, my guest is the woman you just heard singing Bridge Over Troubled Water in her disco version, Carly Ozard. Carly's been a good friend of mine for a long time. I think I've known her for 20 years. Around 20 years, 19 or 20 years. We performed together in a musical. What was the first one? I think it was maybe Ragtime at Foothill Musical Theater in Los Altos, California. And then we performed together in West Side Story at Broadway by the Bay in San Mateo, California. And Carly's career has really taken all kinds of interesting directions. Carly is a playwright. She's writing a musical. She's a singer, fantastic singer. She sings in all venues. She sings opera. She sings in nightclubs. She sings cabaret. She sings in musicals. She sings with a Grateful Dead band. Yes, she does. And she has been signed with the electric dance music company, Sobel Nation Records. Her dance music is popular all over the world. She has worked in New York City and in London, in San Francisco. Our interview went great. I had a great time, of course. She's one of my best pals and an amazingly talented human being. The world is going to hand in a handbasket. Not hand in a handbasket, hell in a handbasket. So many strange things going on. Folks, we're heading to fascism. You have your Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have your Lauren Boebert, you have your Matt Gaetz, you have your Donald Trump. And they're trying to bring this country down. Although if you're a MAGA person listening to this, you think I'm crazy. You think that they're trying to bring the country up, but take a look at what they're doing. Although you can't, because you're MAGA. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But we'll get through it. We're a country that's been through a lot. Hell, we had the Civil War, which apparently was one of the worst atrocities of war in the history of mankind. And we got through that, and we're still a union, although Marjorie Taylor Greene wants us to get a divorce. Yeah, you know what? Go for it. Yeah, go ahead, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Get rid of the red states. Take them out of the union and see how well you survive, because the blue states support the red states. The red states could not survive without the blue states, especially California and New York. They would become a third world country. People would be in way worse shape than they are now. But Marjorie Taylor Greene would be happy. Boy, am I on a roll. I think it might have been the half a glass of wine that I've consumed. I usually don't drink. You know, I'm trying to figure out how I can affect the world in the most positive way. I used to think that just acting show after show after show was helping people, and maybe it was, but that's not happening to me anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm older or there are just fewer opportunities or what, but that's not happening. So what I'm focusing on now is I've just finished translating my great-grand-uncle Luigi Olari's memoir. He was from Italy. He was a singer, and he wanted to become famous in the United States, but it didn't work out for him. But his memoir is really interesting, and I finished translating that. Now I'm editing it, and I'm going to write a one-man show and or movie script and become a famous celebrity. You know, I don't really care about that. what I want to do is put it on stage or on celluloid or on video and make this guy's life happen in the world of entertainment. Anyway, that's enough of that. So let's get to Carly Ozard and my chat with her, and then we'll talk after. Okay. Talk to you soon. Tennessee, didn't they just outlaw trans performers?
They're doing a lot of bad stuff.
And they kind of lumped it in with strippers, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So
there's a lot of they're targeting drag and trans people and drag and trans performers. And now they've just passed a bill that could gut marriage equality for same-sex and interracial couples. So
in Tennessee?
what year is it again?
Where was that in Tennessee also?
Yeah. It just came out today. I just saw it on Instagram.
Interracial?
Yeah. So let me try to find it.
Oh my God. That's like from when I was a boy.
Yeah, I know. Anti-drag bill passed in Tennessee are straight from history's playbook. The bill that passed in Tennessee last week restricts adult cabaret performances in public or in the presence of children and bans them from occurring within 1,000 feet of schools, public parks, or places of worship. So basically, I'm not allowed anywhere in Tennessee, and neither are most of my friends.
So the thing that I because I read that and I want to make sure that I'm understanding, and I don't want to make it it's terrible, but I don't want to in my mind make it worse than it is. So maybe you can help me with this. So I also hear it says in public or with children around.
Yeah.
Not that I think that children are going to be harmed by drag queens, as you know. I don't think that. But does that mean that it's like if it's in a venue where drag performers perform, that it's okay? As long as there's not children in there?
Bans them from occurring within 1,000 feet of schools, public parks, and places of worship.
Okay.
And
1,000 feet.
yeah.
Look, that's the magic. Like, if a drag queen gets closer than 1,000 feet to you, you might become one.
Apparently. And then there's a separate one that bans transgender minors from receiving gender affirming care. So they're banning just people's rights to live and exist, basically.
What was the last one?
So they're banning transgender minors from getting gender affirming care. So if somebody is transitioning and they want to go on hormones or blockers or something like that, they're banning that.
Right.
And there's a fine, and you can get up to a year in jail if you perform adult cabaret. Yeah. Or, yeah. Yeah, but that bans it bans drag queen story hours, which
that's
are
the main
really,
thing,
really important in our communities for so many reasons. Drag queen story hours, not only are they fun, but it allows kids who might be queer to see other queer people in awesome, like, community positions. And it also helps other people to see how to get along with someone who might be different from them.
Yeah.
And this has put the kibosh on that.
Oh, right. So that's true. No more drag queen story
No more drag
hours in
queen story
Tennessee.
hours
Unless
in
the kid
Tennessee.
unless the children are more than 1,000 feet away.
So we're gonna
So you could just use big speakers.
bullhorns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow.
I think the worst part too is that it means either children cannot attend gay pride parades or events.
Yeah.
Because if children are present, then the police have the right to arrest any drag queens that are at their own events.
Right.
If
right.
children are present.
And if they pass by a church or a school, and there happens to be like school, like Saturday school, or people are attending church, they could have like cops out there like arresting drag queens.
It's really cruel. My niece went to her first gay pride parade a few years ago. I was with her in Nashville.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole song about it. That gay pride parade was one of the most special days of my life because I got to go with my brother, my sister-in-law, and my little niece. And I got to see all of these incredible drag queens, and I saw all these kids there. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, we've come so far because 30,000 people turned out for the parade and one protester was there. Right. And we all felt really, really sorry for him. And now my niece and her friends can't go to these events, and whether people want to admit it or not, there's queer people everywhere of all ages, and they're trying to control something that's not possible, nor should it matter.
It's absurd.
And again, even if your kid isn't queer, it would behoove them to get along with people who are different from them, because that's how compassion and empathy are nurtured. And again, who cares?
Well, they have this ridiculous fear that if a child is near a person in drag telling a story,
gay.
that they will become a person in drag, or they will become gay or a sexual aberrant or something like that, which is the silliest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. That, these, first of all, it's like, it's political fodder. I mean, they just stick that out there to raise the ire of the MAGA people. That's why they're doing it, because these people many of them are religious fanatics. Many of them are super ignorant about anything outside of their own sphere of the world. And they're afraid of it. And they're making it, and they're turning it into a problem when it's not a problem.
Yeah, and I feel bad because it just means they've never gotten to experience the joy of a drag show before.
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
And yeah.
I've done drag once in my life in a musical. Hey, who's this? Daisy?
That's
Hello.
Daisy.
Hello, Daisy.
Daisy. Come here, baby.
Let's see Daisy.
She's loud.
Okay. Yeah, once in my life in the musical Angry Housewives. And I can say that it was one of the most fun things I have ever done. It was freeing. It was fun. I looked forward to every performance. It was just a blast. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh no.
Oh, now you're back.
Okay, weird. I didn't touch it. I
Internet.
lost my internet connection.
Okay.
Even on RuPaul, they have episodes where they dress straight people up in drag.
Yeah.
And then they ask them, you know, for their feedback after, and everyone, I think it was AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. He just felt super empowered doing it.
Yeah.
Lots of straight people
It's fun.
enjoyed it. And then there's also women that, you know, women appearing as drag queens has become
Right.
a really big part of entertainment in San Francisco. And
You've done
also,
it, haven't you?
Oh my God. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm kind of weird. I still say that I'm like drag queen adjacent because I haven't gone on as a person.
Oh, okay.
You know, I still headline as Carly Ozard. So, but there may be the birth of a new baby drag queen in October this year. For my show at Martuni's, we're doing an acoustic Grateful Dead night.
Mm-hmm.
And I may host the show as Scarlet Begonia.
That'll be
And
your
that
drag
would
name.
be my drag name and the birth of my drag persona.
Oh.
But the thing is like, I don't want to book multiple gigs as Scarlet Begonia. Like it would just be for that night for fun, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's
you know-
really no drag in Grateful Dead. So I thought, why not call it Grateful Drag and call it a day? But just for fun, just for that one night. But the fashion that could be created out of the Grateful Dead look could be really, really exciting and fun. Yeah. I mean, I could talk about my solo show, or my show at Martuni's that's monthly, and I can, but like, my heart's really heavy right now because, you know, I'm an ordained minister and I got ordained to marry a gay couple over 10 years ago. And today, Tennessee passed a bill that basically says that, you know, people are allowed to refuse to perform a marriage if they disagree with it. So what their government is doing is they are blocking avenues for queer people and their rights to exist. And the bill says that, like, you know, due to religious beliefs, people can refuse to marry someone or to marry people in Tennessee. And so it also applies to mixed race couples, and it also applies to transgender couples. So they're just blocking marriage equality. They're blocking performance and free speech, like Jon Stewart said. They're, what's the word? Like, claiming false things left and right that, like, a drag queen will make your child gay. That's not true. That's not accurate. That's not real. They're demonizing queer people and they're hurting our community. So today's a sad day, and it really sucks because, like, their gay pride celebrations are incredible. Their queer community in Nashville is amazing. It's abundant. There's drag shows. There's gay bars. There's a whole community there full of really amazing movers and shakers. And they're just trying to live their lives. And now all this stuff is happening to them. And I really do call on the allies in Tennessee, especially the songwriters who can write and create music around this situation. I mean, I wrote a song all about what it felt like to witness what I thought was progress in the South, with 30,000 people attending gay pride with one lame protester, you know?
Yeah.
And that song, I just wrote it about the experience, but it's actually incredibly accurate for what's going on right now. And we've got singer-songwriters and performers in Nashville. Nashville Repertory Theater is there. There's a theater community there that's booming. There's the Lipstick Lounge, which is a fantastic lesbian bar. That community is hurting, and I really hope that the allies show up. You know, stop eating at Chick-fil-A. Stop being friends with anyone that believes in any of this stuff. Post on social media. Write a song about it. Vote. March. Attend things for people who can't. If I were living in Nashville, I would be out there right now, you know? And that's what I call on allies to do.
Well,
Because I saw it with my own two eyes. 30,000 people attended that gay pride parade. So all of those people should be fighting.
well, that's what the fanatics in Tennessee are railing against, because there are too many of those people in the state and they can't stand it. So they're going to try to destroy people's freedom. How they do this in the name of religion astounds me. Can you imagine Jesus Christ himself? I deny you the rights to your humanity.
Jesus Christ would have walked in the gay pride parade with everybody else.
Of course. And these people claim to be Christian. It's amazing. But they shouldn't be eating at Chick-fil-A anyway, because it's going to give them a heart attack. So not only for your health should you not eat at Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A is a company that's extremely like MAGA right wing.
Yeah, and they fund anti-LGBTQ foundations and things. And same with Hobby Lobby.
What is Hobby Lobby?
It's an arts and crafts store.
Oh.
Go to Michael's.
Okay, I don't go there often enough.
Order online. Order your glue gun online, people.
Oh, I see. Oh, go to Michael's instead.
Yeah,
Hey,
go to Michael's.
You know, when I was younger, up until probably the mid 80s, before the big horrific crisis here of AIDS, we had a place called Finocchio's in San Francisco.
Tilly used to work there.
Which, yes, and I used to go there quite often because it was so much fun, and it was a drag show, top notch. As AIDS came along, it really went downhill, and then it went out of business. But I remember before AIDS, the guy who worked there, it was a drag queen, and the MC, the MC for most of the shows, and I believe he was a guy who lived in Los Altos with his wife and kids.
I love that.
And he was fantastic. It's just it's an art form that anybody can participate in. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an art form like any other art form, and it's fun. And if people decide to wear costumes and perform in women's costumes, that's their right. It hurts nobody. It's fun. It's a culture. It's a performance option. And it's something that anybody in this country should be able to do whenever they want.
And also, we got to include drag kings in on that, too.
Drag kings, yeah.
Drag kings are
Tell
great.
us about drag kings. What are drag kings?
Drag kings are either women or trans women who perform, as men.
I have not seen any drag kings, but I would like to.
Oh,
I don't think I have.
a bunch. Oh my gosh.
Or maybe I have and I don't remember.
My friend Carol Chen has performed as a drag king before. My friend Fudgy Frotage has. In fact, Fudgy has a big following and has like he's notorious for his performances. I've seen drag kings for a long time, and drag kings are wonderful. And it's the same thing. They put together an act like a drag queen does, and they perform. Sometimes they'll sing live, and other times it'll be lip syncing. And it can be a man too, I'm assuming, but I haven't seen a male drag king. I have seen, either women or transgender or non-binary people as drag kings.
I would
but
imagine
men-
it might be kind of difficult for a man.
Not really. There's women who perform as drag queens all the time.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's just that, well, maybe I don't understand it because I haven't seen Drag Kings, but, drag has a certain style about it. And I could see where a man or a woman could adopt that style and you would know, okay, that's someone performing in drag. But when you see men perform as, say, like a Tom Jones act, and you wanted to do that as like a drag king, let's say, how would you do that and not just look like a guy who's impersonating Tom Jones? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I feel like it's about how the performer bills themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, San Francisco has the Imperial Court, which is a 501c3 nonprofit contingency of drag queens and drag kings and other performers. I've been a member for years. Lots of people are members. They're title holders. And what we do is we perform for charity. And it's often held in a bar in the Castro or in the Mission or in South of Market is usually like the 3 locations where it is. And occasionally at Aunt Charlie's in the Tenderloin. And what happens is all of these performers assemble to perform for a charity that usually the producer of the event has picked. And so people get on stage, and if they're a live performer like me, they sing live, usually to a track. But often it's a lip syncing thing. And a lot of our male emperors, dukes, and other male roles in the imperial and ducal courts perform on stage, and the tips they get go towards the charity. So there's a lot more performing with lip syncing as men than you would think, at least in a couple of these neighborhoods.
You know, that makes me think of something. So here is a drag performance that you just described where they're collecting money for people who need it.
Yep.
As donations. In addition to that, I can say this absolutely, every drag performance I've ever been to has been the most uplifting, positive,
Yep.
most human affirming thing I have ever seen. It's up there with the best shows I've ever seen in terms
Exactly.
of affirmation of humanity and love and acceptance and joy. And it's these people in Tennessee are clueless.
Yes.
And also, I'm very upset about what you just told me regarding this law, apparently, that you say, and I believe you, is passed about them being able to refuse to marry people
Yep.
if they don't agree with their religious beliefs.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm an ordained
not
minister,
good.
and I will come to your place in Tennessee and I will marry whoever. FYI, putting that out there.
Good. All my Tennessee listeners, contact
I
Carly. She'll
will
marry you.
marry all your asses.
I think I have 3 listeners in Tennessee. You hear that, Tennessee?
Yay!
Wow. What is this world coming to?
I just
Boy.
want to know what year it is.
Well, we got to, things are scary right now. Our democracy is getting whittled away by these fanatical people who have a lot of power. And
It's
not a good thing.
wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Very, very wild.
I did send you my song just now, my Nashville song. If you want to play it, you can.
Oh, thank you. This is the song about
Yeah, it's about when I went to my
Pride?
first gay pride in Tennessee.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it isn't released yet. I made it with Leo Frappier, my producer, and it's inspired by Ed Sheeran. And basically what happened was I went to the gay pride parade, like I said, was like really worried that there was going to be like Westboro Baptist people there.
Yeah.
And there weren't, and 30,000 people turned out for this parade. And then the one protester was just like, oh, whatever. And then later we went to this bar out in a town called Old Hickory. And Old Hickory is about like 30 minutes away from Nashville, and it's literally like everything's named after like racists, like Andrew Jackson Way is out there. And so we went to the bar, and I knew the DJ, and he pulled me up to sing, and I picked Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. And there was no one in the bar, so I was like, I'm gonna sing to no one. And what I didn't know was that there were actually a ton of people drinking outside, and it started to rain. And I started singing, and all these people came in dressed in their pride attire. There were people in butterfly wings. There were people in rainbow clothes, and they came in, and it started to storm outside, and they all took to the dance floor while I was singing Thinking Out Loud. And it was a ton of same-sex couples and their friends all dancing while I sang Thinking Out Loud in Old Hickory on Andrew Jackson Way.
Oh.
And I was like, I think we might be okay. And that's what this song is about.
I don't know if I know that song.
No, I haven't released it yet.
Oh,
so you have it
your
now.
song, Thinking Out Loud. Okay, awesome.
Oh, you don't know if you know Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
You would know it if you heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And
something I haven't heard, or I probably heard it. I just don't know. I don't associate the title with the song.
Thinking out loud, honey, we found love right where we are.
Oh, of course, I've heard that song.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the title.
Yeah. So it's called Thinking Out Loud.
Okay.
And
I love that song.
I thought I was going to sing to literally like 3 people, and all these people came in from outside, and I didn't know they'd been drinking outside. It was amazing, and it was so cool. We were in one of the like more conservative pockets of the country, and people coming in wearing butterfly wings and rainbows and dancing together. I was a wreck.
Sometimes I think that there are just a few people who influence things so strongly, and we start to believe that it's everyone. Like you say, it's one of the most conservative places there, and yet
Nashville is not.
Yeah.
Nashville is a blue dot.
I see. In the state. It's a blue dot in the middle of the state.
But go 30 minutes away any direction.
And you got your Trump loving Americans.
It's a lot more progressive, but now things like these multiple bills being passed is very heartbreaking, especially after I looked around and thought I saw change and wrote a whole song.
Well, maybe somebody will bring it to the Supreme Court or something, because it should be unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional? It is. It's
Because
discrimination and
wasn't
cruelty.
there a federal law already passed?
That's
like a few years ago?
I mean,
yeah. So they're already breaking the law by passing this law, I think.
yeah.
Well, maybe somebody will overturn it then. I hope. I guess there are 2 different laws here. Wow. So tell me about your songwriting, and you're also writing a musical.
I am. So, my songwriting is always, improving, I hope. I've only been doing it really actively for about 4 years. I really enjoy the process. I really enjoy exploring multiple genres. So far, I've worked obviously on EDM with my label, Sobel Nation Records. And then I work with my producer, Leo Frappier, with the House of Frappier here in San Francisco. And then, of course, I work with multiple other musicians to explore different genres. So Jerry Herrera, one of my friends, who's also an amazing songwriter, singer, guitarist, banjo player, drummer. He's insane. He and I have written a couple tunes together that I'm super proud of. And you can hear all my stuff on Bandcamp, and that's how we get paid, is through Bandcamp. If you buy my music on Bandcamp, the money goes directly into our pockets. So we wrote 5 Years On together, and Odin, my boyfriend, who's also a fantastic singer-songwriter and guitar player, he and I have written a song called Drifter, and that's a song that's pretty folky, I'd say. And then this first Pride that I hope you'll share, I'd say it's more on the country rock side of things. And then my EDM stuff is just, dance music for anyone who wants to move, right? And then I'm writing this musical, and this musical is a huge deal to me. I was a busker in the subway in Manhattan for years, and I sang for the New York subway systems. You have to audition to get in. It's called Music Under New York. It's a whole audition process. And I met so many people, and I was filmed singing in the Long Island Railroad. And when the guy who filmed me posted me to his Instagram, there were 40,000 people on his Instagram, and I got a lot of followers and likes. And one person through that reached out to me and said she was this gentleman's close friend. And so I assumed that she was here in New York with us. And it turned out that she's actually in Trabzon City, Turkey, which is near this Aegean Sea. And she's Greek and transgender. And she's been living with her family, who basically have this modern day Rapunzel thing going on with her, where they're basically like, stay in the barn, don't make yourself noticeable. And she's had a pretty lonely life, because if there's any queer people in her village, it's not really talked about. It's not really celebrated. And she's had a lot of hard times presenting male, but being a woman. And I've gotten to know her for 3 years on Instagram. And she unfortunately has a heart condition, so she can't take advantage of services to apply for a visa to come here or go somewhere where it's a safer, more accepting place for her. So I decided to write the musical of, well, what if she was well and could come over to the United States? So the musical takes place in the Long Island Railroad and in a barn in Trabzon City, Turkey at first. And the subway busker, played by me, meets her because her friend videotaped me singing. And I show her Instagram account to a bunch of people who work in the trains and live around that area, who are commuters every day. And we all come together to bring her over to the United States by the end of Act 2. And there's a love story, because through me, she meets the Long Island Railroad, shop owner who runs a shop in the trains, and they connect and they fall for each other. And it's a whole story of getting her to the United States so that she can become the woman she's always meant to be. And the entire orchestra is subway musicians. And I am very excited about it. I have 6 songs written. Odin has put his music to one of the songs, and it's spectacular. I'm in the middle of writing Act 2 right now, so we're getting there. And there's a role for you in there, Ray, because I wrote it with you in mind.
I know. How exciting.
I have you as the liberal dad who goes to all the PFLAG meetings that loves his queer son and is super embarrassing.
Oh, so I won't have to act then. I can just be myself.
Just super, you're that really embarrassing dad that takes pictures of, and is the kids are like, oh my God, stop. So yeah, but you have a real love of your Greek heritage, even though, whatever.
Does it have a title yet, your show?
Yes, the show is called The Brightness, and I'm accepting funding. I have a coffee account set up for The Brightness, and I have all the information I can send you. You can find it on my link tree as well. If you follow me on Instagram at Carly Ozard Sings, you can look at my link, which is in my bio, and that will lead you right to The Brightness and how you can fund it along. And I have a meeting with a hopeful music arranger next Thursday. So fingers crossed, he's going to review all the material and decide if he wants to take this on as a project.
Nice.
So,
well, we'll put all those links in the notes. How exciting.
yay!
So you actually, who did you say you were meeting with?
Well, I'm meeting with a person that's a very prominent musical arranger and music director here in the Bay Area. I don't want to say any names yet in case he's like, I don't want to do it. But he's really interested in the project. And so I have a meeting to sort of pitch the show to him. And if he takes it on, that's going to be a pretty mean orchestration of the score. So I'm really excited.
How exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Thanks.
You've done so many things. I mean, you've been in so many musicals. You lived in New York. You performed in so many of the venues there with a lot of famous people. You moved back here. You have your own show every month at Martuni's.
On the last Sunday of every month except June.
Martuni's in San Francisco. You're writing a musical. And you do so much more. I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing
just
to me.
Pours out.
Yeah.
And now it's about taking it to the next level. I'm working with this team, and then I'm pitching my musical next week. And, that's just part of the process.
Now, when you write music, you write the words, and then do you write the words first and then put the music to it, or do you write the music first and then put the words? How do you do it? Or
it really depends on the situation. The last few songs that I've written have honestly come to me when I'm just like sitting here and I'll hear like, okay, so one of the songs that I'm writing is about my experiences as a person of size in New York. And that's coming out soon. It's literally in the final stages right now. And it's called Come At Me Again. And, when people go to like fight, they go, come at me, bro. Come at me. Like, so.
Yo, come at me, yo.
Yeah, yo, come at me, bro.
Yeah, they would say
so
bro
like,
now.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you, if you're about to fight someone, why would you call them bro? That doesn't make any sense to me. But go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like literally the melody line for that came to me just like out of the blue.
Really?
And I was just sitting there and it was just like, come at me again, and it just like sort of took off.
Yeah.
Other times, and I'm not proud to admit this, but I'll hear a song that I know really well and I can write a whole new melody to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a form of plagiarizing without telling people.
Well, everybody does that now.
Yeah.
It's so cool to watch you grow as an artist. I mean, I've known you since you were a teenager, and now I look at you and you're just like this production of art person. Like you're in a rock band, you're in a country, you do country, you do what's his name?
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead.
Like, it's so crazy. This whole Grateful Dead thing is so random.
You're doing cabaret, you're doing comedy, you're doing Martuni's, you're writing a musical. Like, you're just coming into your own creatively. It's so amazing to watch.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I don't fit into anything. I do a lot of different things and I don't really fit into like a corporate niche of anything, really. It's just kind of like, hey, I feel like it's about the message behind whatever you're working on. There's some songs where like they can't not be a country song or they can't not be a rock song. And so I think that's what I'm really good at is hearing what should be behind whatever is being conveyed, which makes me a good, musical theater teacher too. Because when I'm working with my kids at Berkeley Playhouse, and we're discussing the difference between Rent and The Sound of Music, I'm able to help them see the difference between contemporary and legit approaches to these songs,
Yes.
And so that's where I can hone my skills as well. It's about the intention behind it and what communicates the message of the song or the play best.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's
you're
about
a
community
director now,
outreach.
too.
It's about community outreach. If I don't know how to do something, that's what my different Facebook groups are for. And that's what the different networking is for. Is like, hey, I really need this type of a riff on here. I don't know how to do that. Can you get me that? It's about asking.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thanks, Carly. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it. This was so much fun. Well, folks, you made it. You made it to the end of my little chat with Carly Ozard. Woo! Yeah, that was fun. I always like talking to her. Hope you're having a great, wonderful, fantastic day and that you're not getting rained upon too much if you're living here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We have another atmospheric river attacking us. If you enjoyed this show, please go into Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star rating. 5-star and only 5-star. That's all we accept here at the Green Room. Now give it a fair rating. And please tell your friends. Word of mouth, of course, is the best way for people to hear about this podcast, as it is the best way for people to hear about practically anything. And social media, of course. But I'm old school. All right, folks. Give me the 5-star rating. Give me a review if you can. Follow me wherever you can. I have a YouTube channel as well. Green Room on Air with Ray Renati. And yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. And it's been real fun. Thank you again. Take care of yourselves. Love one another. And until next time, I will see you on the boards. Bonsoir.
When you're weary